almost positive. Ugh. Let me get in here. Pull it up here. Yep. We are live. I can see it. There we go. All right. We are on, and it is 6:30 on Thursday.
We're right on schedule.
We are right on. So actually, I think we're. Wait a minute. That says 6:27, but my phone says 6:31. So
We're on schedule.
we're close.
We're on
We're
schedule.
close. Welcome to This Fan's View. This Fan's View. Introduce yourself, Carl.
Carl Henderson. I'm the owner of Carl's Cards and Collectibles here in Havertown, Pennsylvania, and Mario and I have been friends for quite some time now. And
I was just talking about that, trying to figure out how long we've known each other.
So here we are.
We are here, and Mario Gallo, and I just seriously trying to figure out how. I think it's been 6 or 7 years, going on a little bit longer, maybe.
Well, we can surround it with baseball.
Yeah, it's
we
always
can
baseball.
surround it with baseball.
Yep.
Surround it with Ernie.
Yes,
God.
I know he's watching.
He's watching. He's definitely watching, laughing his butt off. Like, look at these two. And so here we are.
We are here, and this podcast, Facebook Live, will be non-scheduled. We will do it as we can, and as it is right now, we're on tonight, and I think we're planning on doing one next Wednesday at 6:30. So mark that on your calendars. We'll be sending out invites or reminders just to remind everybody. If you have any questions between now and then, inbox one of us. If you're not friends with me, I'm sure you're friends with Carl, vice versa. We will try to answer almost any questions. There are some questions we will not answer. So let's get started.
Let's do it. So part of this whole thing, This Fan's View, got started last year in spring training. I thought about doing something, writing something, doing a blog, something, and it's it's kind of been pretty cool. We do it we do it in the morning, and we just kind of like highlight on the the day before's events, sporting events. Philly sports is our, I guess you would say is our, our passion. With that being said, last night's playoff game between the Dodgers and the Brewers, I take a look at Greg Counsell, the manager of the Brewers, and he throws his starting pitcher out there for one batter, pitches to one batter and pulls him out. And apparently, I guess that was the plan all along. He was trying to outfox, I guess, Dave Roberts and the Los Angeles Dodgers. They got the lineup set one way, and he's gonna quickly change everything. And well, I guess it just didn't work out too well.
Yeah, who's that remind you of?
Well, we said we weren't going to talk about him.
No, we said we were going to talk about it very short.
Oh, that's what it was.
So that was the very short. Who's that remind you of?
Gabe Kapler. And so I guess with that being said, I guess baseball's not baseball anymore. There's too much trickery. There's too much.
No, it's okay. So baseball as a whole, has become a game of numbers, a game of computers, and more of a game of strategy. So you have people that are trying to take no-talent teams and position them against teams that have talent and try to outsmart them. At least that's the way I'm thinking. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it does not. Because you need talent. No matter what, you need talent.
You got to have horses. You got to have a horse in the race. You know what I mean? You got to have... And that's... I guess that's what kind of stumped me a little bit, with the Brewers. Because, I mean, they were... you know, I mean, they were playing so well. You know, they were a hot team. You know, they were on a roll, and I'm like, was that really necessary? It kind of threw me back a little bit, like a lot of the things that Gabe would do in the course of the season.
Right.
You know, was that really necessary? I mean, I understand, you know, righties, lefties match up and all that good stuff, but, you know, the game has just, I mean, it has changed. And I think
it's changed a lot.
I think this past year, we see it more so here in Philadelphia because of Gabe and the way he manages. Right or wrong, whether we agree with it or disagree, and you know we can talk about that for hours.
Yes, we can, but we're not going to beat a dead horse.
We're not. We promised. We
Yeah,
we're
we
not.
promised we're not going to beat a dead horse.
We locked the horse up and put him away for winter.
So I do have one question, is regarding the Phillies, and then we'll move on to something else. What do you think they need to do? It's a two-part question. What do you think they need to do for next year? What do you think they will actually do for next year?
What I would like to see them do is
So it's a three-part question.
what I would like to see them do is go and, you know, get a big time player, somebody that we can honestly build around. You know,
Who? Just throw a name out there.
the guy I'd love to see him go and get is Mike Trout. That's the guy.
I think that's a general consensus.
That's the guy that I would, you know, pretty much. There's only a couple of Phillies that are untradeable on the current roster, so I don't know what it would take, but I don't see the Angels letting him go. I don't know that Bryce Harper's worth $400 million.
No, he's not.
And Manny Machado, I just can't envision him and Odubel Herrera in the same lineup and not running out, you know, back-to-back ground balls. I just think, you know, I would have a serious heart attack.
I'm not a Manny fan.
I'm not either. I'm not. I don't think Manny fits in Philadelphia. I don't think he'll be accepted here in Philadelphia.
No, I think his head's too big.
I just don't. You know.
Although I am, and I really can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't think it would be all that terrible if they got Harper. I don't think it would be a bad idea.
Well, he definitely wants out of Washington. We know that.
Who doesn't?
You know, I just can't believe that they're going to let him walk and not make him a substantial offer.
Well, and that's the whole thing. What's it going to take, other than $400 million for 10 years, to get him here?
Right.
Because you know Washington's not going to pay him $400 million. Nobody in their right mind would pay him that. Because in my mind, the way I see him play, he's going to get hurt. Because he throws himself into the game. And he does it without regard for anything around him. And that usually ends up in injury.
He's
But he can hit.
He can hit. He's a solid ball player. He
Yes.
can play the game, and you know it just seems like these guys, you know, you can they turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't quite understand the turning off aspect, just because you're being paid a lot of money, and I mean this is a game. This is a boys' game that you're playing.
Right.
And you know to come and give 110% every night at the level that you know you're asked to, you know, in front of 50,000 people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm curious to see, you know, what the Phillies do, but half of me thinks they're going to just lay low, maybe add a couple of small pieces.
Okay.
And just kind of build off of what excuse me. Build off of what they started to build this year. Things kind of went south when they brought all those old guys in.
Yeah.
Didn't work out too well. So I think I think a move that's probably necessary right out of the chute is to trade Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman.
Really?
Well, you got to get Scott Kingery in the lineup.
Okay.
He has to get in the lineup. And as much as Hoskins needs to play first base, Scott Kingery needs to play second base. I'm just all about guys playing their natural position.
Okay.
You're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. That's the position they've grown up playing.
Right.
I'm not saying he couldn't be a hell of a shortstop, but I'm not ready to kick J.P. Crawford to the curb either. So
Okay.
It's going to be an interesting offseason.
It is going to be interesting.
I think the first move's going to kind of let you see where they're heading, what they're going to do.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Herrera?
If it was my call, I would trade him tomorrow. I just don't think he fits in. I just don't, the swing absolutely drives me crazy. But as quick as I say that, the guy can hit 300 and be the best player on the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he just, I don't know what's ticking up there. I don't know what's happening.
I don't think anybody does.
And
I think Clintock is playing everything close to the vest, and he's not going to let anybody know what he's doing. But I think everything that he's going to do is going to revolve around numbers. Everything's going to revolve around numbers because that's the way he is.
well, and I guess is that the new wave of baseball?
Oh, it is absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's all over the league. We're not the only ones doing it.
I don't know. I mean, is it something that takes a couple of years to sort out to see if it's going to work, and then they revert back to old style baseball again?
No, I think what they need to do, or what they're going to end up doing, is they went whole hog analytics. Right? I think what they're going to do is they're going to do another season of whole hog analytics, and then revert back a little bit to put some of old time baseball combined with the analytics. Analytics is not going to go away ever.
Well, they were so far behind before Matt Klintek got here.
Right.
They were old school with Charlie, Pete. It was old school.
Yeah.
Let's butt them over.
Yeah.
Knock them in. And I, it's new baseball. It's a new version of if you call it all analytics, but I just all the shifting and everything that's going on is just I mean you try to figure out what's going on, and you still need horses to hit. You know what I mean? You got to play the game.
Well, you had said something to me, I think it was Sunday when we were talking, that really hit the nail on the head. Baseball players are creatures of habit. And if you go and mix them up and change the lineup every night, you're not only outsmarting or trying to outsmart everybody else, but you're out coaching yourself, because you're not going to make them comfortable to a point where they know what they're doing.
Right.
So I think that's going to be a lesson learned for him, but it's not going to be a lesson learned quickly.
I mean, they got off to a great start the first half of the season.
Right.
Everything seemed to gel. They had excellent pitching from most of their starters. They held, I think it was a 1.5 game lead into August.
Right.
Got our hopes up. Excuse me. And then we saw what happened in the second half, and it just it just went downhill from there. So I definitely think you're going to see new players. How many and where at? You still got a lot of young players that you haven't figured out.
Right.
Do they belong in Philadelphia? Are they going to be Phillies? For life.
Yeah.
And I just I guess another season of the uncertainty.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to end up having, because he's got one more year on his contract.
Who's that?
Kapler.
Well, no, didn't he sign like a 3-year
Was it
deal?
3 years?
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was
3
2 or
plus 1,
3.
I believe. So, but
So we're stuck with him for 2 more years.
well, You know, and winning will take care of a lot of things. You know, if they win, you know, you can overlook, you know, a lot
Yep.
of that and just win. So,
So we got somebody who wants to trade Odubel for the framed picture for that.
I don't want them here.
Sorry, Chris, not going to happen.
Why would I want to do here? But I could sell him the picture. No, I mean, you know, it's a shame because Odubel, you know, I mean, he came from, I believe it was the Tampa organization.
Right.
Tampa, Texas. I forget what exactly it was in Rule 5. So he never played that much minor league baseball. And, you know, he was handed a lot of money, $30 million.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it'd be super not taken.
You know, and you know, this is great. They love me, you know, and they pay me to put this show on every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah,
So let's move on. I have
Yeah.
one last question.
sure.
When are you going to spring training?
Same weeks you are.
There you go. Good job. Good job. See,
Got it. Got
this
it.
is
This is how this works.
this is what this is all about.
Yes.
So in March we'll be doing a live
Yes.
podcast from the bleachers.
A live,
A live.
not a live.
Yes.
Several.
Oh, several.
Several.
Okay.
We can do one.
Yeah.
I
So
gotta check with Larry to make sure that we're gonna be there. But we can do some home ones from what is it? It's not Bright House Field anymore, is it? It's called
no.
Spectrum Field now.
Spectrum Field,
We
yeah,
can do some
Spectrum.
from Spectrum Field, and then
Yep.
I think we're planning on doing a lot of away games
Good.
if they're not too far.
right.
They're not too far. 'Cause I
Yeah,
know.
we stay relevant, like within an hour. You
Right.
know, that usually is my path of,
Right.
you know, I'll go to Bradenton, you know what I mean? I'll go over to Tampa.
Right.
You know, like an hour's fine.
Okay.
That traffic coming back is brutal.
It sucks. It sucks.
Cuts
But
into my happy hour.
I will tell you. I hope Matt's not watching or listening, but Blue Jay Stadium sucks.
Who's Matt?
Stairs.
Oh. Did you see where he got fired?
No, did he? Oh, that sucks.
The Padres, I mean, I don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? You know, they
Yeah.
bring the guy in for 1 year and
And then get rid of him.
you know,
Well, I told you I ran into Mick Billmeyer.
oh, okay.
While I was down there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I talked to him for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was looking for a job.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was telling me he got let go, and I think
Rich Doobie.
Rich Doobie got
In
let
Detroit.
go. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
'Cause
actually
they cleaned house.
they did.
They cleaned
but
house
I
as
think
well.
Doobie's now down in Atlanta.
Is he
He might be.
scouting?
No. I think he's working with if I got what he said right, I think he's down in Atlanta doing one of the minor leagues.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, so he's a really nice guy.
Mick's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Mick's a great guy. Yep.
So.
Yep. Mick's awesome.
All right, Sixers
Opening night.
opening night.
Opening night. What's
Trust
his
the process.
What's his name? Archie Ryan Diacono, the nice little Italian kid. Made the Bulls squad. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the other. I don't know what is it. 8 Villanova Wildcats that are sprinkled throughout the NBA.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool. Jay Wright's got to be pretty excited about that,
who wouldn't be?
right?
Yeah,
So
So-
yeah, the Sixers open up after losing a game in Boston.
Yeah, it's Boston,
You
so-
know, I mean, Coach Brown said we're going to move on and we're going to learn from it, and
But-
so
So, in their off season last year, what changes have they made?
I don't think they made any.
Okay, so
They went star hunting.
and found nothing.
Well, nobody apparently wanted to come here for whatever reason.
Okay,
So I don't know the stars that they were, other than LeBron.
Right.
I don't know who all they were chasing. So, yeah,
we had this
it's-
conversation. We both knew he wasn't going to come here.
Yeah.
But now here's my question. They made no changes in the off season. Do they expect to do better than they did last year?
Well, I think they get the one kid that they drafted last year, Fultz back as their point guard.
Right.
He started the first half, and then he only played 3 minutes in the second half the other night. He didn't really do a whole lot, but last time I checked, there's only one basketball.
Right.
And it's pretty much belongs to Embiid and Simmons.
Well,
so I don't know how.
We got somebody says Fultz is a bust after 15 games.
It's sad to, I mean, I don't even think the kid's been given a shot. So
Yeah.
I need to see him play. I need to see him play more. If opening night's any indication, I'm going to tend to agree.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to throw him in that mold yet.
Okay.
I just think I don't know. You got to be a special player to play with Ben Simmons.
Right.
Special player. You got to be very unselfish. You got to be able to,
Okay.
do all the intangibles.
I can understand that.
Because Ben Simmons is, in my book, is a great player.
Right.
And he's heading to do great things. I just hope they're all here in Philadelphia. But yeah, so it's opening night with the Sixers and Bulls. I'm sure the place will be packed.
I'm sure it will be.
Just for hometown scene. Plus, I'm sure a lot of Villanova people will be in the house to see Archie.
We need to go to a Sixers game.
We do. I don't do very many.
No,
so
I don't
it'll be
either.
a special occasion.
One or two a season, and I'm good.
If Sue's watching or hearing any of this, this is going to bring music to her ears because she's like, you never go to a Sixer game with me. So yeah.
Sorry, Sue.
Yeah, basketball is at the bottom of my depth chart.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I mean, I
It's
love
not
the
top
game.
of my list.
I love the game. I enjoy it. I love all the personalities. But I mean, gosh, it comes down to the last minute.
All the time, yeah.
It comes down to the last minute. And
Okay, so you could watch the last 2 minutes of the game and not have to worry about seeing anything before that.
yeah,
And the last 2 minutes of the game usually takes a half hour.
right.
Because they foul everybody, timeouts, Anyway, Sue said, I see where I stand. Sorry, Sue.
Hey, I got to go home.
Yeah, I don't.
But so let's we'll talk more Sixers next week.
Next week.
Next week, they'll have 2 or 3 more games under their belt. We'll see where they're at.
Yeah, hopefully they're not 0-5.
Hopefully they get off to a good start.
Yeah.
Unlike the Flyers, who don't necessarily they're not fast starters.
No.
In the games, they just seem to take forever to get going. So I don't know what we got to get that team figured out. Coach has got to figure out. They're going through a rough patch right now with injuries. They just paid JVR all that money to come back home and play here, and he's out for upwards of 6 weeks.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure, lower or upper body. It's one of them soft tissue injuries, I guess.
Okay, it's not a good thing.
And they're losing guys left and right, guys that they can't afford to lose. And the other night, Wayne Simmons, who I just think does everything right, and he was protecting one of his players,
right?
And he ends up with a 10-minute 10-minute misconduct on top of the 2-minute roughing. And, they lost him for 12 minutes. You can't take Wayne Simmons off the ice for 12 minutes. They can't afford that.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't care if he's playing on the first, second, or third line. He can't be taken off the ice. He's just that valuable. And, they let that team back in. They were winning 5-2. Next thing you know, it's 5-4, and coach decides to, shuffle the goalies. And I was like, I get it. You're trying to make a point, but you're bringing a guy that's been sitting on the bench the whole night.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not cold. He's ice cold.
Yeah.
And no sooner he brings him in, and it's 5-5. you go to, extra hockey and then a shootout, and fortunately they won, but it just.
I always get nervous when they go to shootouts because their history with shootouts is not good.
It's not been good.
No,
it's not been good. They
Nope.
got some great snipers. You know what I mean? Voracek has got an unbelievable shot. Travis Konechny's, they've got some snipers. They just miss that. I'm not sure what they miss. Scott Hartnell, they've never been the same since Scott Hartnell left.
yeah,
This goalie carousel is driving me absolutely insane.
I don't think you're the only one.
We've got, I don't know, I think there's 6 goalies on the payroll between Philadelphia and Allentown, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms.
Right.
I think there's 6 goalies being paid right now.
Jesus,
And
that's ridiculous.
yeah, it's you got guys injured and guys trying to rehab injuries, and so I guess the bottom line is Carter Hart. That's the kid that everybody wants to see. But Hextall's going to be patient. He has to be patient. He just can't throw him in there because you could just ruin him. And that's just not the move right now. If he shows that he can play well, with the Phantoms for the next couple of months, maybe you take a look at it. But that's not the move right now. So you just need to go back and forth.
Well, and they're playing tonight.
They are playing tonight. They are in Columbus to play the Blue Jackets. It's a game that they should win. Blue Jackets aren't. They got a good goaltender. They got Bobrovsky, and you know where he came from.
Yeah.
But I think that's a winnable game. I really do.
Well, every game's winnable.
This is true.
Some more than others. So we'll put this in the more category. I guess we'll see. What time do they start?
I think that's an 8 o'clock game, if I'm
8
not
o'clock?
mistaken.
Okay.
I believe it's a 7:30, 8 o'clock game.
Okay.
So
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
we've got we've got both the Sixers and Flyers
Playing
in action tonight.
And there's a football game tonight.
It's Thursday night football.
I think that goes off at 8:20.
Somewhere in that
Somewhere
vicinity.
around there.
Yeah, it'll
I
be a
don't
lot
get
of
the whole 8:20
be
thing.
a
but
whole lot of surfing going on tonight.
yeah. Oh yeah. Who's playing?
I don't know.
I forget.
I didn't even check.
All right.
I didn't even check. We had a full sheet of paper, and I ran out of room. You didn't tell me we were going to talk about Thursday
Well,
night football.
it just popped into my head. Sorry.
I'd rather talk about the playoffs and the Red Sox beating the Astros tonight.
Didn't we want to talk about that?
Well, kind of a little bit.
Okay.
You know what
we
I
can
mean?
go back to that. We'll go back to that because there's a couple comments I want to make about the officiating.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm really not a fan of one of the umpires.
Cowboy Joe West.
I can't stand him.
Cowboy Joe. He likes airtime.
That's all he. I can't remember a game that was of any significance that he officiated where there wasn't controversy, or he didn't do something stupid to turn the focus onto him. I don't know why he's still an umpire, but he's the top one in the entire league. But he needs to retire. I really cannot stand him. That's all I'm going to say.
Sorry about all my coughing and whatnot, but this cold came on me quick, so I'm not quite sure. Hopefully I'm one and done now.
So if I'm sick tomorrow,
yeah,
I'm coming after you.
Hey. Yeah, so, look, can we talk about that play a little bit? Can we,
The Bartman play?
I watched MLB today. I've heard other people talking about it, and I guess it's going either way. You know what I mean? I
didn't see it, so I'm not sure. Was it a home run?
Well, yeah, it was in the
Okay.
stands.
All right.
Was in the stands. It was over the wall.
Okay.
I perceived it, that, the glove was closed, and now whether or not the fan pushed it closed, or but anyway, we know how it ended. It didn't end well for the Astros. They're not happy.
I am, because I really don't want the Astros to win.
Well, does anybody like to see the same team win 2 years in a row?
No, but
who don't you like about the Hey,
it's not that I don't. I like Boston.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
It's not that I dislike the Astros. I just like Boston. So, and that's pretty much been ever since I went to Fenway. Went into Fenway and just was blown away.
It's that's a great part. I mean, the Green Monster. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, Boston, over 100 wins this year. I mean, they ran away with it, but yet they struggled with the Yankees. You know what I mean?
Well,
so go figure.
It's their albatross. That's the big rivalry. So of course,
right,
they're going to be a little more, I guess, apprehensive or reluctant with them. So the Yankees, I think, get into their head all the time, no matter what. And I think it goes both ways, though.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I was rooting for the Indians. I wanted to see the Indians.
Me too.
I don't know what it is. Terry Francona. I don't know. I wanted to see the Indians. I thought they had a little bit more firepower than they showed.
I can't believe. I didn't start watching it until last Thursday, because I wasn't around, so I didn't see anything. So I was looking at it last night. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to the Indians? I'm looking on. Hell, they got bounced out in the first round.
Yeah, I was looking for a little more energy there with Cleveland, and maybe they want Carlos Santana back.
They can have him.
They can have him. See how we just made that trade?
There you go. One trade done.
We just got rid of.
I don't even care if we get anybody for him.
$20 million. That easy. God. But so playoff baseball's exciting. It has been exciting. I mean the Brewers. The Brewers have playing some really good baseball. The Dodgers have gotten hot at the right time.
Yes.
Right time.
I will tell you who's pulling for the Brewers. Father Kugel. He is. He's
a Wisconsin.
He's a Wisconsin guy.
Boy.
Yep.
I didn't. I knew he was all over the Packers, but I didn't know he was a Brewer guy. So I will have to send him a message.
Yep.
Because they play tomorrow night for their Game 5.
Okay.
Or Game 6 actually, because they're LA's up 3-2, so it'll be Game 6 tomorrow night. That could also be over.
Okay.
So, Father Matt, if you're watching, say a prayer.
I'm sure he's saying more than one.
I'll never forget that night on South Street. Wasn't that the best? Huh?
Yes.
Was that not the best?
We need to do that again.
That was the best.
And we can't. He's not here. Sorry, he's up in Buffalo. So
here we are. Here I am. Never mind.
It's a history lesson.
Was I on good behavior?
You were. He wasn't. Shh. Sorry. Anyway, what's next?
Well, I mean, we kicked around, just about everything, and the team that brought us that trophy in February.
These guys.
The team that brought us that Super Bowl, the team that brought us so much
joy and happiness, and the team that is still.
They're still Super Bowl champs.
Still the Super Bowl champions.
You don't take it away.
No, not at all.
You don't take it away, and I'll be honest with you. I think they're gonna fight through these injuries. They're gonna fight through getting Carson back on track. Because let's face it, he missed a lot of football.
He did.
He's a lot of football that he needs to get the rust off.
Yep.
He needs to figure out a lot of things, and he's gonna do a lot of great things.
Okay, so now here's my question, and I know we touched a little bit on this Sunday when we were talking. Ajayi being out for the season, how does that affect them?
I think it's somebody you're not going to replace. You're not going to replace him. Let's face it. You brought him in last year. he traded for him, brought him up from Miami, and him and Blunt were, and you throw in Corey Clement, and you had a huge three-headed monster with those three guys.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden Blunt's gone, Ajay's gone, and now you pretty much, what do you have left? Corey Clement's, I think he's running on one leg, to be honest with you. I don't think that injury is healing anytime soon.
Right.
And quad injuries are tough.
So
who
who do they go to?
Well, I mean, Smallwood's been getting a lot of the ball.
Right.
Because they really don't have anybody else. The other running back, Josh Adams, I don't know that he's ready for prime time. You know what I mean? I think he's there because you don't have anybody else.
Well, then he's going to have to get ready really quick.
Well, I just think you need the pass rush ratio to be pretty balanced.
Right.
So as long as you can, keep Smallwood healthy and get Corey healthier,
Right.
Unless they make a move and trade for somebody, but you need to balance out the run pass. You can't.
Yeah, they do.
It gets
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I know they
But-
get into some third and long situations, and they get behind really really fast, and I guess it gets in Doug's head that he needs to pass more. When that's not always the case.
Okay, so from what I've seen the last couple games, they're not really giving Wentz a lot of time.
No time.
Right. So that's one. But they have no running game. So it's a lose-lose situation there.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure something out. And, trick plays are good once in a while, so you can't really do them all the time. But they're going to need to figure out what to do with the offensive line to give Wentz more time to pass.
Here's an interesting saga. A couple of weeks ago, they pulled Stefan Wisniewski out of the game. Still trying to figure out why. I thought he was playing fine. I didn't see a problem there. And they replace him. Peters gets injured during the game,
Right.
So you end up kind of shifting the line around. You didn't have Peters last year, but you just seemed like you had better line control. Things just seem to work out pretty well.
Right.
I don't know. Now you got Lane Johnson limping around with a sprained ankle. Jason Peters got a torn bicep. He's going to try to play through it. You've got a patchwork offensive line all of a sudden.
Right.
Guys missing plays, because, they need to take a play off. So it's become a big problem. Where I'm going with this is a guy that retired in Philadelphia named Brett Selleck. And I just felt he did so much.
Yes, he did.
You went with the two tight end, formation. He would know when to stay and have to block. Him and Zach Ertz were probably the best two tight ends in all of football. You didn't replace that, Brent Selleck.
No, you didn't.
You did not replace. You drafted a tight end, but
Right.
the kid's got to learn, and apparently, it's learn on the fly. But I don't see him being anywhere near the blocker
Right.
that Brent was. And I think that's a key component for both the running game, the quarterback, the offensive line, and it allows your wide receivers to be a little bit more creative, because now you're watching Selleck, you're watching Zach Ertz, who get the ball a lot.
Right.
So, do they need Brent Selleck to come back? I'd sign that contract tomorrow.
Would he do it?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess apparently he was making too much money, and they wanted to free up cash. But I also want to protect,
For who?
Carson Wentz.
Right.
Well, you gotta remember Carson's going to need a contract.
Right.
that's going to be coming down the
Oh, absolutely.
down
Absolutely.
down the highway real fast. You basically don't have a stud running back.
No.
You lose a Jai, his contract's up at the end of the year. I don't think he's coming back.
He's not coming back.
Okay. Love Corey Clement, South Jersey boy. Got all the tangibles, but you need to work somebody in. So
Go back to Ajayi. What did you tell me about him that was just off the wall?
well, I mean, why would Miami want to get rid of him?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean,
But what did he do?
well, he did a lot of things that I didn't like.
One was something that he did to himself.
What was that?
Insurance.
Oh, we've taken out the insurance. Yeah, I just read upon that.
Really?
Yeah, I just was reading it, and he took out an insurance policy on himself
Because he knew he was going to get hurt.
Well, I guess because
That's my guess.
because he didn't. Well, he's not signed
Right.
after this year, so kudos to him to think along those lines. You know what I mean? And then he goes and gets hurt
Gets hurt.
again. And prior to that, I think he had a fracture in his back. I mean,
Yes.
he's had multiple injuries.
Well, he was hurt when he came here, wasn't he?
I believe so. I believe so. But I mean, it's tough. I mean, are you going to reshuffle your whole roster and bring in Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh? Great running back, but that's going to change your whole play philosophy.
Right.
He wants the ball 40 times a game.
But are they going to do that mid-season?
Well, he's coming back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because that's the way the player's contract is, and he'll be back, and whether he plays a little bit, a lot for Pittsburgh, whatever.
Right.
But I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, I don't know. I'm confused because I just the protection on the line is breaking down. I mean, Carson's getting crushed back there, and I mean, God forbid, he takes one of. I mean, did you see the one tackle the other day? I mean, the guy picked him up and body slammed him, and I'm just, and there was no penalty.
That's
I mean,
right.
which I was like, okay, I guess he took the ref took that play off.
God.
But no, I just the whole Brent Selleck thing, because he was just such a key guy on the line.
Right.
And they don't run the two tight ends hardly much anymore.
No.
When they get down in the red zone. But I think the injuries is what really has the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
In a.
It's tough.
It's a problem right now.
Very.
They've lost a couple of their cornerbacks. I mean, Corey Graham's out, Darby's out. I believe somebody, Jalen Mills, jumped on the injury report today.
Really?
I don't know what that. I don't know if these are nicks that just he'll be okay for Sunday.
Right.
But I mean, you're going to face a guy that he's probably more of a running back than he is a quarterback in Cam Newton. I mean, he just, he'll give that defensive coordinator nightmares. So.
All right. Well, we got somebody who thinks Peters is not going to make it to the end of the season.
I don't see how he can. I mean, between his bad, the man's almost 40 years old. I mean, he's.
God.
I love him to death. I mean, he's done a lot of great things, but you just don't know what play he's gonna go out on, and your backups are backups. They're backups for a reason. I still don't know what happened to Stefan Wisniewski. I don't. I didn't think he was playing god awful bad and needed to be yanked out, because then you throw in a guy who hasn't played a whole lot.
Right.
But I mean, I guess I don't know, what is it, next man up mentality?
Yeah.
How many next men up are there?
Yeah, I mean, and that's right now, I think they're playing with what they're playing the hand that they're dealt. I don't think it's going to end up as well as we want it to. But at this point, we really don't have a choice. And they're playing Carolina this week. What do they do?
I mean, my heart says it's a winnable game,
Right.
because I think I think they still have enough pieces, to it's a home game, so you're going to have the home crowd,
Right.
behind them, and I think if Doug can be creative, and figure out this run pass ratio, I think they'll be okay. I think they can win it. It's going to be a close game. I don't think they can blow anybody out. Carolina's a tough team. You got Torrey Smith, who they traded. That was the first offseason move. They traded Torrey Smith, for a guy who's not even on the team now.
Right.
So Torrey's going to come back, and he's going to want to say, "Hey, hi guys, don't forget about me."
Yeah.
So,
Well.
I think it's a winnable game.
Okay.
I think it's winnable.
Then after that, they're in London,
Then they go to
and we'll be
Jaguars.
talking about that next week. There was another London game last week, wasn't there?
Yes. Yeah, there's
There's a couple.
I think there's
during
three
the-
or four.
Okay.
There's three or four,
No.
and that's going to be an interesting game for for anybody that's got to travel all the way over there.
I know several people that are going.
So
So, and that's at 9:30 in the morning.
yeah,
Wow. So it's weird because there's only a 4-hour difference.
eggs and kegs.
Wow. Well, we'll talk more about that next week because we'll be doing a show on Wednesday. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I'm intrigued by this Powerball, this Mega Ball, this this $1 billion that's at stake. Those numbers are they're breathtaking.
$1 billion.
To think that somebody's it's a life changer.
It is.
It's a life changer.
Anytime you get past 6 zeros or more,
So
it's a life changer.
all right. So if anybody out there wins,
Right.
maybe they'll help us out, and
Yeah, float us a little bit.
maybe they'll think about maybe, I don't know, taking us out for a beer.
I'm okay with that.
So on the closing thought, did
Yes.
you have fun Sunday at the wrestling?
I did. I was going to say, speaking of body slams, we saw a lot of them Sunday.
So I told Frank, aka Santa,
Yes.
that I would give him a shout out, the man puts his heart
He
and
does.
soul into everything that he does.
Everything he does.
Everything that he does, and
Yeah.
as Bay would say, doesn't do. No, just kidding. Just kidding. You know what? If Christmas could be 12 months a year, Santa would have.
Yeah.
Santa would be the happiest man in America.
I know.
He would be the happiest man in America. He can't wait. He just can't wait.
I love
So-
Frank. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. We had
Yeah.
a great time Sunday.
We did.
Um,
I did. I told you he was going to wrestle. I told you he was going to wrestle. So for those of you that don't know, we went to Briarcliff Fire Company, and it was a fundraiser, right?
Yes.
Fundraiser
for Briarcliff 75 for their
Right.
firehouse.
and it was Liberty All Star Wrestling.
Yep.
They had a show, and it was good. It was fun. They engaged all the kids that were sitting around,
Yeah.
and those 4 girls that were sitting up front, I'd be afraid of them.
They,
They were getting in their faces.
They
too.
came with a plan.
Yeah,
They came with a plan. That was
Yep.
for sure.
yeah. It
But
was
it was fun. It
So,
was a fun time, and Frank, kudos to you and,
Yes,
and
Frank.
your crew.
and they're doing it again in March, right? I
Yeah,
think he said.
I'm afraid of that March date. That's
Why?
it. Well,
Oh, we might be away. Yeah, we might be away.
No, that's spring training time.
Yeah. So
Nothing interferes with spring
No,
training time.
no. So you might have to
So-
make it later in March, Frank, just when you're setting the date. Because I think, well, wait a minute. Maybe earlier in March.
Earlier, late, not the middle.
Yeah, it can't be the middle because I think from the 10th to the 24th, we're gone.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
So
But-
I mean,
It was good
This-
though.
this-
I got to see Frank. I got to see Bay.
Yeah.
Got to see you and Sue, which was good. Then we went out and had dinner.
yep. It was a good it was a
good
good
day.
Sunday fun day. Don't let Sunday ruin your Mondays or something. Don't let I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah,
But
fun.
it was good, and thanks for everybody tuning in, and hopefully we can.
We'll do this. We're doing it again Wednesday.
Yeah, we're guaranteeing one more.
yes, one, at least one more.
We're guaranteeing
Yeah.
one.
And we haven't gotten cut off Facebook yet, so
So
we
see-
haven't said anything. Well,
No.
I haven't mentioned Joe Buck, so we're good.
We're good.
So
Sue
yeah,
don't like him either.
he's an ass.
See, I knew I'd pull it out of you.
So next week, I'll tell you my Joe Buck story. It's,
Well, I gotta have Sue tell you her Joe Buck
Okay.
story because hers is priceless.
mine involves national television.
Okay,
So
all right.
all right, so we got to talk.
Yeah, there you go.
So next Wednesday, 6:30, same time, same channel, different day.
And shout out to Lauren,
Yes.
who handles all our, all our back behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
She's the head of all this. So thanks, Lauren,
Yes, thanks, Lauren. You rock.
and we'll catch you here next week.
We will catch you here next week.
Thank you.
See you. Thanks, guys. Go over here and turn this thing off. Hopefully, oh, there we go. Finish.